Hello, my favorite CopperCube people. So, today we're having another episode on how to create your own MMORPG with CopperCube. And and basically I'm not ready at all, but we're going to add some enemies probably today if everything works. So, just to remind what we've done before. Last time we were refactoring the client part, so it now supports TypeScript. Before we added some collisions and also we added some multiple characters support. Basically, quite a lot of stuff. And today our goal is to add some simple enemy behaviors, so we can see like enemies going on the map. Guess what would be the goal. So first of all, I've already added this funny little guy. Not sure what is it. Some sort of green monster. I ripped it off from FPS Creator Classic. I think they have all the packages available for free. Not sure what the license is, but since I'm not making any commercial project or something like that, I suppose it should be fine to use it. And it already has some animations with it. I've only added walk and idle for now, and other ones should be added through the animation editor. I didn't done it yet because I don't really need them for today's video. And yeah, basically it would be the same as for the players. Everything should be done on the backend. I also thought that probably we need to use state machine for the artificial intelligence, but for now, I think I'll just maybe use sort of strings or something like that, and we can, as usual, refactor everything in future. So, first of all, what is my idea? I think I will have like maybe four monsters for now, and they will appear in that area. In order to understand the coordinates of this area, I'm just going to add spheres as usual. 0, 0, 0. And this one is too big. Let's just scale it down a bit. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And let's just mark the area in which I want our enemies to appear with these spheres. So it will be like that, like that, like that, and like that. So the enemies should appear here. And everything, once again, should happen on the backend, same way as with the players. So we just go to the backend thing and we're going to start coding. First of all, I don't even know where to start. I think we need to do some sort of class maybe for the enemies. I'll just create a class which I will call Monster One because this is the name of the monster. Quite creative, I know. And once again, as soon as we have more stuff implemented, for example, as we have second enemy, we can just extract part of this class to the some sort of base enemy class or something like that. So we don't have to rewrite the same code over and over again. So, do I use models to import? I use modules. So let's just do module exports equals class, and this class will have a constructor. And what should we have here? Basically, we should have properties which resemble of the player. First of all, we probably also need to import the same vector class. I'm not sure if I need circle. Yes, I actually need it because this thing also should collide with the world, and it also will have like the circle collider the same way um, as player does. So we will have an ID, we will have X, Y, and we have float Y. I think. Um, I guess this is more or less it. Basically, probably we can. I'll just also for consistency call the class, so it will be monster one. We could even have like the base class for both monster and player, but whatever. Let's just do it as we're doing it. And I will just copy and also idle. Yeah, basically quite basically they're quite similar. I see that they're quite similar. But whatever, we can just do refactoring later as usual. The only thing which we don't need is a name. Yeah, we don't really need a name for a monster because they all will be called Monster One. Um, and now here we will just create another array which we will call enemies, and it will be an array. And how do we add these enemies? First of all, I'm thinking that we probably need some sort of like initial function, something to add monsters initially. And then we will also have to respawn them as they die, right? But currently I'm only looking for spawning them initially. Should it be the same function or not? Probably it could be the same. Let's just do it the same. Spawn monsters. Um, yeah, well, also, do I want to support monster type from the beginning? I guess I should, but I'll just do it like that. So I will also, in the future, I will also have a monster type, and by default, it will be like monster one. Oops, not like that, like that. It will be monster one. Um, do I also need some sort of coordinates or something like that? Yes, I think I should also pass like a coordinates here. Oops, x, y. And where do I want it? I want to run with spawn. Okay, so monster. It will be monster, not spawn monster. So it will be like it will be a function to create one monster, and there would be also function to create all monsters, I guess. But we still need this one. Um, I would also like to have a separate specific IDs for each monster. So maybe let's just do your ID. So I will add another library, your UUID, which allows to generate IDs programmatically because I want a specific ID for each monster, and I'm going to just um, equals require ID, and I'm gonna be using version which is works for me, which is v4. Um, and I will say like generate ID equals v4 here. So just to keep like naming a little bit better. And so now what I need to do here is I'm going to have enemies push, and I'll create a new let's just so we just ignore the monster one part for now. Let's just figure out so how to do the whole thing. And I will pass here for ID. I need to create a generate ID. For X, I'm using X, which I receive from the function signature, and I also need rotation, which I can so restore rotation and Euler in Euler degrees. So I think it will be just 359 multiplied by math random, something like that. So it just appears with a random rotation. And I think it would be it. I also okay. So another thing which I need to add to the monster is property is dead. Probably I also will need it for the for a player, or I might not need it, but whatever. Basically, my idea is that I won't really remove these monsters from the game. I will just mark them as dead and remove them from the active monsters list or something like that. I won't even make an active monster list. I will just filter. Will it be? Okay, we'll just try it. And if it's slow, we'll just do it the other way. I will be just filtering the existing enemies array by the live monsters. And I also need a function. Do I need a function to spawn monsters? I don't think so. I don't think I will need a function to spawn all monsters. At least, uh, if keep everything consistent, I have these objects which I generate, which will be specific for every scene, right? Every scene in the game. I can just create monsters the same way uh, as I create scenes here. To do generate monsters for each scene, and I will have more control over what I'm doing like that because what? Because why not? I don't even know if I need to this like spawn monster function, to be honest, because it's let's just comment it out for now and just copy this part. Not sure if I actually want to do it as a function. So first of all, let's add 4 monsters to the scene. I wanted 4, so it will be for let I equals 0, I less than 4, I plus plus, and here we will add our monsters to the list. And the thing is, we need the coordinate, and this coordinate should be randomly generated, I guess, for now. Like that. How do we get them? Basically, we have this square, and it will be like so. Position. Oh, okay, collision could stay. I don't mind. It will be like that. Uh, like that. And then, so I'm also using like the squares space here, but it's also not so good idea, to be honest. I would rather use polygon shape, but for that some more complex calculation will be required. So now, as we're building like the initial version, I will just stick to using square shape, which is easier. So it will be use polygon as monster spawn area. Okay, and basically I can see, so it will be like 20 to 40 on X, on no, yes, to 40 on X, and it will be 40 to 60 on Y. So this would be our area basically. I'm taking this from the coordinates. So this is obviously 20, this is 40, this is 40, this is 60. So what we're gonna do is we're going to generate a random coordinate. So random x would be math random multiplied by 20 and plus 20. So basically, it's just 40 minus 20 is 20 with 20. And it's multiplied by math random, which returns a value from 0 to 1, which means it will give us value from 0 to 20 here. And plus 20 gives us the value from 20 to 40. This is exactly what we need. And the same way for y, we are going to have but we're going to have 40 here because we need from, oh no, not here. Oops, I mean 40 here because we need value from 40 till to 20. And now we're going to use like random x and random y here. And we can also do everything in a single line because it's only 4 parameters. I'm not sure if 4 parameters is something that we can do in a single line or not, but it just looks more compact that way. And so on. Okay, so now we have all these monsters and basically they should be added to the game. And what we need to do next on our update method, we will also not only send players data, but we also going to send our how is it called, our monsters data. So I can just remove this one because I don't need it. It was just for debug purposes, and I will just add enemies. I'm going to go enemies map, and I'm basically doing it the same way as I've done for the player. So I will need this one, that one. I only don't need the name property. So it will be like enemy, and then oops, I need to do return here like that, and also like that, and I need to update this pull here to enemy everywhere. It's pretty much the same, so I'm just wonder if it's a good idea to make some sort of base class, or isn't it a good idea? I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it's how it is for now. And let's see that we don't have any compilation errors. I mean, how is it not compilation? I mean, any errors. And also our front end is still working, which is a good sign. And from now we can start working on the front end part. So here on the front end, first of all, what do we have here? I will be doing everything pretty much the same way. I called it update entities. Oh, okay, so I'm just doing it pretty much the same way as I did for the player. So here we have the states, and here we're doing stuff for the player array, and I'm doing pretty much the same stuff for the enemies array now. So it will be for var I equals 0 less than yeah, if data, oops, I need to update. Yeah, obviously I need to create, first of all, since we're using TypeScript, we need to create the same entity, not entities, the type for our enemies and so on. I also wonder if we need type of enemy so we can go. It doesn't matter. We also need this player at some point. And nothing else matters. Okay, and here we will also have enemies, and it will be an enemy array like that. So now data enemies, then length. I can actually probably just do let enemy of enemies. Nope. Oh, not enemies, like brief data enemies. I think it will be compiled properly to our target. Let's just check it really quick. So as you can see, like here, it does the regular loop in the compiled version. So I think if I just run the game, it should run okay. And now let's just make another check. If you just go here and we'll try to print enemy ID, let's just see that, okay, it's recompiled. Let's just see that everything is working or not. Do we receive any enemies? I'm not sure. Let's just do it like previous data enemies length, and we'll just print it out. It it says that it shows that an error because of TypeScript mm, parts types incompatibility. Since I have only string in print, it expects it to have only string. I think the issue is that our game client wasn't, yes, it's sort of stuck, so that's why it doesn't return anything. Let's just remove it really quickly and just try it again, because we can run into the issue with something, and I want to prevent it as soon as possible. So let's just, oh, can I please select? Yes, thank you so much. Let's just remove it. Yes. And now let's just not print the count, but let's just print the count, whatever. Let's just compile everything again and see if it works. So now it says that we have like 4 enemies in our array. And if you want to print the IDs, will it print the IDs? I want to make sure that our compiler actually compiles this correctly, because version ES1 doesn't support its off syntax, and ES1 is the version which is used in CopperCube desktop. So now, yes, we can see that we receive our IDs and everything seems to be fine. Now we need to basically duplicate the same logic as we have here in the player. So we will say that let enemy, and I will retype everything because I also want to do it in like a proper TypeScript, and it will be data. Oh, really? I need an I. I need. Do I need it? Nope, I don't need it actually. Or do I? Let's just do it with I. So let's just do it the same way as it was here, because I'm using index here to access. Nope, nope, no, 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 it's fine. So this is enemy, and this is enemy data length. It got it for pref. Yes, this is enemy pref basically. And we also need the same get player by ID. Can we reuse it for? No, we can't reuse it for players because can we? What do I have here? So I'm just getting data players. Yeah, we will just use this get player by ID, but we will rename it to get entity by ID. Here it will be either player array or enemies enemy array. Oops, not that kind of or this kind of or. And we will return. It will also return either player or enemy, like that. And here let's just say this entities. So let's just rename this to entities, and to entities also. I think we can reuse the same function here. So we will say that get entity by ID. So we will say that we need to let enemy next would be get entity by ID, and we will pass like our enemy ID, and here we will just say next data enemies, and that would be it. So now if we don't have enemy next, in this case we need to generate an enemy, and what we need to remove an enemy. So let's just put it to do here, remove an enemy. And okay, and here we will just do pretty much the same. So it will be enemy node equals we just get scene node from name. It will be enemy real ID. Then we will have to do if enemy node, but first of all, we don't really need to update anything right now, since we don't really have any update on the server side, but we need to create a node. So here we have this like a remote function. I wonder if we can use it for creating enemies. Nope, we can't. We just need to add another function because it has a lot of logic related to player names and so on. I think it will be just easier to keep everything in separate functions. So we will just set an enemy, and we will have like enemy, and its type would be also enemy, and let's just copy all the logic. We will also need to support different enemy types. So it will be the same as we have here in our on our client server side. So currently we only have monster one, but it could be the other type of enemy. And then in this case, we will just, in our monster class, we will have a property which will tell which models need to be used on the client side. So that way we can create a proper, so we can sort of create proper, how is it called, representation of the monster. But for now, it doesn't matter because we only have one, and we will be doing pretty much the same logic as we have here. So it will be base enemy node, and this base enemy node will actually depend on this property I was talking before. And we have monster one base here. Looks okay to me. Monster one base, and the copy will be called base. The copy of the base enemy node. We will set it in the position which we receive from the backend once again. So it will be enemy Y, and its name will be set to enemy ID. Pretty much the same way as we've done for with the player. Now this is logic related to billboard. This is logic related to generating the proper name. So we don't really need this, and probably for now this will be sufficient. And if so, to do move, animate, and so on. And here we will have add enemy, and we will have like our enemy rel here. Okay. So now if we go to our client and everything works correctly, we should see that our enemies are copied into some random position. So what is weird here? There's only one thing which is really weird. Even though we generating random rotation, they're not really randomly rotated. And also like all the animations freaking play at the same time, which is a bit weird, but whatever. Okay, next this is also something that should be done for the player, I guess, but let's just do it for enemies first. Scene node property copy rotation, and when we will have like new vector 0 for x, enemy road y for y, and 0 for z. And these like x and y and x and z values, they will always be 0, right? Because we only support like y rotation. So now they are rotated in different directions, and also what? They also play animation. So that's good. We have a good progress here. I didn't even think we could make it that far, but whatever. The next step which we're going to do is we're going to probably add some logic to the monsters. Oh, I just touched the microphone. I wonder if the sound's still going. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I would say that these monsters, they will be basically neutral, and the only thing that they're going to do is they're going to probably move around the map and so on. I just wonder if I need to limit somehow the area there they can move or not. Probably I should limit this area. So for that, let's once again use what we're going to use here. Okay, so I guess this class also have a box, right? Yeah, it has a box, and we're going to allow these monsters to move in the same area, which is quite small, right? So maybe we can. No, I don't think we actually need to make it bigger. It will be just that small because we're just doing it for purpose of implementing stuff. And so now then we create these monsters. We will also xy, and we going to pass them So let's call it area for now. So it will be area there these monsters can move, and we will say that area is equals to area. I am, to be honest, I should also rewrite everything in TypeScript because it's just doesn't make sense to keep it in JS. Uh, Too many new properties appear all the time, and it would be nice to have an idea of what these properties actually are. But once again, whatever, let's just do it as we're doing it right now. And here in the area, we're going to, so we have like this monsters, new monster. Here we will add a new box. Do we have it already imported somewhere? Yeah, circle box, yes. New box, and the box properties will be, it will be new vector, and the area will be 20 to, oh, 2020, right? So 20 on 2040. It will be 2040, 20 on X, 40 on Y. And then I will have width, which will be 20, and I will have height, which also will be 20. Probably we could use something else, but why not use box if we already have it in SIT library? So let's just make sure everything is compiled. I guess everything should also work on the client side because we didn't change too much, and we're also not passing this property anywhere since we have this map function, which only sends, which we make sure that we only send the required data to the client. And now let's just work on some logic. So also what we also will have here, we will have something called state. And there could be multiple state for this enemy. Let's just say that we will have, for now, we will have enemy state idle. And we will also have enemy state walk. And for now, we don't need any more state. No, we need, we will just say enemy state find next target, probably equals 0. It will be really nice to have an enum here also. Yeah, I should have done everything in TypeScript, but whatever. We will redo it maybe next time. Yeah, maybe it actually makes sense to redo everything next time because the more code you have, the harder it would be to rewrite everything. All right, so now we have enemy state idle here, and let's just work on some logic. So inside our monster class, we will have a function called update, maybe. Do we need to pass delta here? I don't know, probably not. Or should we? Do I actually even calculate delta? Yes, I do. If we need it, we will just add it. And here we will have a switch statement, which will have multiple, which will be based on the monster state. So the very first, so in case enemy state is idle or enemy state, oops, case, I forgot the word case. If it's idle and also it will be default case, it will just do nothing. So we will say just this animation equals to idle, and we don't need to do anything else. Then we will be moving to another location, and for that, first thing which we need to do is we need to find the next target, right? Because we have like a target position here, and it is null, it won't move anywhere. But if we have some sort of target, we can allow our enemy to move to the target. So first of all, we need to find this target. I'm also at the break statement here. How do they do it? We have an area, and we already have this code which this code which finds a random spot in our area. So we just need to do pretty much the same here. And let's just make it a little bit more generic since we have our area property. So this will be this area. It will be width. Oops, this area Okay, so I'm not quite sure like what the property would be. So that's why you need to use TypeScript, right? Let's just do it like that. New box. And what does it have? It has like position, it has H and W. Okay, so we will have like our area width plus our area position X, and here we will have our area height and this area position Y. I think this should work. And we will say that our target position will be equals new new what will be equals to new vector. It should be vector, right? And this vector should receive like random x and random y properties. So that way we know that our target I just okay, let's just do it. I'm just trying to think like how we can make them not only move but wait for some time, but doesn't once again it doesn't matter for now. We will just figure out how to code more or less okay um, more or less okay big enemy eye in the future. Once again, everything is customizable, right? We can just update everything through the code, so it doesn't we don't have to do everything right from the beginning. So now here in the state work, it would be pretty simple if in case okay, we also need another state actually. Enemy wait for new state or something like that. Basically, this should be idle, called idle. But since we have, let's just do it later. Let's just call it stay, and this we will call idle. Enemy idle. So idle means that you don't do anything. You don't stay. You don't go. You just wait for the next state to come. Um, and we will just say stay here. And for the state, and this won't be default state anymore. So for state, we'll just do nothing once again. Nope. We will actually set this animation for stay, and we will have enemy state idle, and also default. And in this state, we won't do basically anything. So nope, I don't mean enemy state walk. I have it enemy state because it's called state idle. All right. So here in enemy state walk, first thing we do, we just change this animation to walk, and then if this target position equals to null again, we will say that our state would be equal to enemy state enemy find next target. No, not find enemy state, like that. So first of all, initially we start with enemy state idle, which is not true anymore. We will say that it's state stay. So here it goes to this state first and it plays animation idle. And basically at this point, it does nothing. And this is not how we want it to work. So in this case, we also say that we will just go set timeout. We will pass a function, another function there, and we will do like like 4 maybe. So let's do it like that. So 1 second plus 3 seconds multiplied by math random. So it will be from 1 to 4 seconds. And after 1 to 4 seconds, the state will change to enemy state find new target. And also, as soon as it finds a new target, it says to target, and then we also set state to enemy state walk. So in this case, animation would be walk. Every step we will check if position is not null, and if it is, we're going back to state stay. And here we also need to go to state enemy state idle. So basically it doesn't do anything. Yeah, if you just use the proper state machine, probably it would be easier to code. But now I feel like if I'm not missing anything, the logic should work. So basically, we are starting with a stay state. It says animation to idle. We translate to idle state, which does nothing basically, and we also program our state machine to wait for from 1 to 4 seconds, and after that it changes to enemy find next target. In enemy find next target, we are getting random position inside our area where our guy can walk. We change in state to state walk, and we change animation to walk, and we wait until target position will be null, and then we can change it to state to state stay again, and everything repeats. So, well, at least to me it makes sense. I feel like it should work. So now here in our main loop, we also need to add a function for enemies to update. For enemy of enemies, update. We'll just call enemy dot update. This is little bit already little bit oh, why? Ah, okay, of course, because you're not using TypeScript. It's already a little bit. We need delta here. Do we? Are we? A little bit inconsistent because we have a move player as a separate function. There the update where we pass player and delta, and we will do the same for the enemy. So I will be just enemy enemy update enemy. I also have it's so confusing. So how do I call it? Okay, it's just called update. I will just call it update enemy, but it will be so super confusing. And I will say enemy and also delta here because I'm not in this. I just wonder if I actually can just use the logic. I will just use move logic here, and that will be it. So it will be delta. And once again, I'm just erasing everything. It will be enemy update, and I'm going to pass delta time there. And I need this part of logic to be inside our monster thing here. So if state is walk, let's just copy the whole thing, and quite a lot of stuff here. Yeah, this one, no, the whole thing. Let's just copy the whole thing. All right, so if enemy state walk, we will say that if this target position not equals null, so let's just do it like that so we can see. In this case, we will just do enemy, oh, not enemy, this road X property will be this target position. Yeah, we'll just need to change this to this everywhere because we're referring to current current entity, not some like something that we received. Move player, use delta time. We can remove it because it's already done. So we will just say that this call was X, this road. So does it move with the same speed as a player? I guess it does for now. Which will be a little bit fast. Let's just do it like maybe like that. So it's twice slower than the player. Once again, so use real enemy, move enemy. And then here we will have like this collision and this collision. So they don't collide with any game objects on the map, and we already know that it won't happen because they don't really have any objects there. I'm sorry. Probably we can just add one later for test if everything works. And also we will have this target equals 0. So and here once again I'm not still not using this distance check, but I really don't think it does make sense to change anything right now because it works. It somehow works the way it is right now. So if it works, don't touch it. Usually that's the paradigm. And in this case, we also set target position to null, and we need to change state, right? So we'll just change in state to to enemy state, right? I removed it for some reason, not sure why. And target position, let's just do it like that. So let's just remove this from here and put it in an else statement. So target position is null, and we also don't need this idle because it will just go here. So we just and we will go to stay once again. I'm totally not sure if this will work or not, but we'll see. Are we already passing delta here? Yes, we do. Do we have some compilation errors? Yes, we also do. Upcrash, so game objects is not defined. Aha, okay. Game objects are not defined, but this is also fine. We can just pass them. So basically, it says that we have these game objects, which are basically the global variable, and we will just pass it from here. And here in monsters, we also need to. That's why it was a good idea to have it as a function, but whatever. Once again, we can just change it later if it completely doesn't work. And it's also not that bad to pass it here. So let's see if we now have some sort of. The circle to polygon is not defined it just because I'm missing some imports. Let's just do it like that. Up. Circle to polygon. So we need response, we need circle, need we need box. Why does it? It's just so vector circle box. Yeah, just remove this one, and we'll just remove the polygon, and we will remove the box since we don't need them. If it doesn't work right now, so now it works. And also let's see what happens on the client. I'm not sure if I need to update something or not. Yes, of course I need to update. So probably if you don't get any errors, it seems like everything is more or less fine, but we also need to add the update enemies logic to the client part because currently I have it like that. So first of all, what we're doing here, we're doing it pretty much the same way as it was done for the player before. So if player node, if enemy node, we just have the same logic, pretty much the same logic. Let's just copy it and rename everything to the enemy. I'm not even sure once again. So since we copy in a lot of code, copy code is not something that is a cool thing to do. But once again, some little changes exist here and there. So in case enemy next, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. So let's just once again do it like that. Let's just do player and search for player. So we know that so little changes exist here and there, and because of that, sometimes it becomes even harder to maintain the code because you need to make slight updates once again here and there, and you need to support slightly different logic for different for different entities. So maybe it's actually a good idea to just copy everything and hope for the best. So enemy node rotation, we will just get rotation where will be enemy node and where will be enemy next and route Y. So here we will set the animation for enemy node and it will be enemy next animation, and we don't need anything related to camera. So as here, for example, so I don't need stuff related to camera, even though I need all the other stuff. It will, to be honest, it will never hit this loop because none of my enemies will have an ID the same as the player. But um, just for, I'm not sure like if it's easy, if it's right or wrong, but this is something what we're doing right now. And let's see if it does something. It doesn't. Okay, they're rotating, but they are not moving, right? Something, something is happening. But these guys look pretty happy, to be honest. Like it looks a lot like they're just, like hanging out, chatting. It would be actually really cool if they have like little beer bottles in their hands. But in this case, you don't really want to kill them, right? Just want to hang out with them. And since this is the only thing that we can do right now, probably it's like the most pacifist MMORPG in the world. So the question is, what is wrong? And I would say, based on how fast they're moving, the issue is actually with the backend side, not the front end, because they're just rotating too fast, so they don't even attempt to go anywhere, which means that we have an issue with the server setup somewhere in our monster update function. Oops, it's a front end. Let's just go here once again and let's just try to figure out what is what. Well, no, it was a backend, right? So this is the correct part. So I hit the microphone again. Yes, it's still recording. Let's just try to figure out what is happening here. So this target position. Um, let's just try to do the following. Let's just try to debug it. Um, I'm just going to stop everything for now, and I'm going to go to run and debug and actually do something that I should have done. Do not show again. What I should have done much earlier. I will just add the debug configuration, and it has link to index.js. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the monster, and here inside our state walk, I will set a breakpoint here so we can, not even here, even here, so we can know what actually happens in case we hit this state walk statement. So now we're here and some of the monsters has hit this condition. Let's see what does this. So we have this thing is here and it's not now. So we just go here. It so now it updates X and Y position. It sets animation to run, which is not correct. It should be walk actually. And next we're going to go through the game objects, which is not relevant for us. Does it have any response? Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. What? Ah, okay. What? Why does it? Why does it get to state idle again? Ah, okay. It's just so this is a common error. This is a common error, and this is pretty easy to fix. I just forgot the break statement here. Let's just try to rerun it again. So what it was doing, it was just going through the whole code here, and then it says, okay, I'm just going to have to go to another statement, to another state, and it executes like the whole code here. It doesn't even goes to case, to be honest. So what it does, it basically just goes through the code, and until it meets the break statement, it will go till the end of the code. Why? That's why I have the break statements everywhere after the case. And yeah, so that was the reason why no one was moving. Let's see if it's fixed now. F9, oops, F9. Okay, so now these guys are also moving somewhere. So, yay! They still look happy and they also move. They move a little bit too fast, I guess. But it, okay, you convinced me. Let's just fix it a bit. So, maybe we can, for the monster, since their speed will be the same, every time we can just say that walk speed would be something like, and also let's just do it maybe like that or something like that. And here we will update it to this walk speed and also this walk speed. And we can remove it. We can remove all the to-dos. It's actually quite good to remove to-dos from time to time. Feels great. Server have restarted. We haven't done any changes on the client side, so yeah, this speed seems to be a little bit better. So now, yeah, our monsters also moving. We still have 60 FPS. Nothing seems to lag too much. And this is also good because we have four additional entities which also check for collision with all the objects which we have on the map. And should we just add some object to see if what happened if they collide with the object? We want, you know what, we are not going to add it, we're just going to move this well there. So the well will go into somewhere here, maybe. I also wonder what would happen in case, for example, the monster spawns on the well, but this is something for us to figure out. And we need to update our server part correspondingly. So we have our well here, and it won't be this position anymore. It will be that position, right? Like that. Everything is started once again. Let's see if the client needs to be force closed. Nope, it doesn't. So now let's see if someone runs into the well. What will happen? Could you guys? There's a well here. Oh, okay, so he just. Mm, I think that's fine, to be honest. This is okay. So this is okay. They'll just try to move into it, but um, should we fix it? No, I don't think so. Yes, we do, because in this case, in case this guy has stuck here, as you can see, he will move for quite, so he won't ever stop moving to the well, and he will move basically forever. And this is not something that we want. And have I removed? There is a logic for player that stops if it hits something. I don't. Have I removed it for? Ah, it's because it. Uh-huh, I guess we just need to make this value maybe higher, or maybe let's just remove it. Oops, maybe just remove this condition at all. So even if they hit the well slightly, they will just stop. Nope, it's just stupid. Let's just move this value bigger. So let's do it like that. Um, and the server has, but yes, this is just so. I think what happened here is our so their speed is not that fast as our what? No, but maybe it should be okay. It shouldn't be higher. It should be lower, right? So it should be like 0.3 or something like that. Have it restarted? Yes. Let's just try it again. But anyway, we will eventually figure out. Even if it just rams into the well, it it's not a big deal to be honest. So now, op, yeah, he stops, and now he just goes, yeah, 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 this is something that I was looking for. Now he can also, yeah, yeah, awesome, great. And the very last thing which I want to do today is probably measure the performance. Why not, right? Why not measure the performance? And let's go to the server side. And once again, let's just go to our main loop function. It's here. Let's just do console time. And let's say main loop. And here, I just need to comment this out, I guess, because I am just enabling it every time I type in the things and I don't want to do it. So now it says that, yeah, our main loop is still almost all the time under one. It's all the time under 1 millisecond, which is great because, as I mentioned before, we have 16 to do something, and in case 16 is not enough, we will just increase the, the the time between different loops. But overall, it seems like we are still getting decent performance, even though we have a collision check. And now we also have some monsters here. And I think that's good enough for now. Well, at least it was easier than I thought, to be honest. So everyone's moving. So next time we will try to implement like attacking enemies or something like that, I guess. We'll see. Or if I'll memorize something. I still wonder if I need to do code refactoring right now or I can do it later. Probably we can just complete the enemies fully, and after that we can do the code refactoring because I feel like a lot of stuff, no, still a lot of stuff will be on the backend, still a lot of stuff on the front end, but anyway. Okay, also let's just try to enter as a second player and also see if it works. Yeah, so everything seems to be working still, which is great. All right, then I guess that's it for this episode, and I see you probably next week or in 2 weeks or never. Have a nice day. Bye bye.